Hey everyone, welcome back to another session of Q&A with Matt K via Creme de la CRM. I'm Chris Stegall, joined once again by Matt Kaufman. Hi, Matt.
Hey, Chris.
And
Welcome back.
today, well, I guess let me do the full recap first. If this is your first time joining us, this is the series where Matt and I hop on live to answer questions from the community, either sent in directly to Creme de la CRM or posted on the Trailblazer Answer community, to give folks some live help as well as the audience some insight into what troubleshooting questions and issues in Salesforce actually looks like. We challenge ourselves to do this with no preparation, no editing, so you can see, and no Googling. So it's actually a little bit harder than doing this in your day-to-day role, but it's some good insight into the multiple ways to approach any given Salesforce question, the creative solutions, and give the folks on the community a little bit more personalized feedback than just another question on the answer page.
It's also a great way to feel good about any problems that you may be experiencing by watching me struggle.
Yeah. And nothing helps you remember things that you know more than watching somebody else struggle. And you go, wait, I remember how to do this.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
if the roles were flipped, I feel like I would be grasping at straws. So I do like to kick these off by saying, if you have questions of your own that you'd like us to answer next time, please do submit them to quick2.click/Q&A. And of course, if you enjoy this content, please do like and subscribe. It helps these videos reach a wider audience. It helps make me happy because I get a little email that says you have a new subscriber. Feel free also to comment questions that you have, ideas that you have. Any engagement is good engagement at this point because it's exciting to see this channel grow over the last several weeks. It's been doing that, and I'd like to see that continue to happen. All right. And today, I think, Matt, we are revisiting a question from last week.
Yeah. I tried to tackle this one on my own. And even if you watched last week's video, or if you haven't, maybe you might want to go back and watch it now. Even during the video, I said, I feel like I'm missing something here. Basically Nishant had posted that he was trying to stop standard functionality from updating the close date on opportunity. And of course, when I went to go edit my opportunity, it wasn't happening for me. It seemed like it should. I knew that it was very familiar, and I didn't know maybe it had something to do like new orgs versus old orgs. And I was on my own. Chris wasn't here, so it was harder, and I couldn't figure it out. And the issue was basically the standard functionality that exists in Salesforce is when you have an opportunity and the close date is in the future, then when you go and close that opportunity, the date will be marked as today. Nishant didn't say that in his question, and I didn't figure it out. When I tested, I think I used the date that was in the past. It does not update the date if it's in the past. So I don't think I really solved this problem last week. And so, yeah, we're going to revisit it today, and hopefully we can solve it today.
Cool. Thank you for catching that and bringing it back up so that we don't leave Nishant hanging.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to see on the original post, or can we pop your screen up here and jump back into?
Yeah, we can show my screen. I have the original post up just in case. But let me show you the opportunity flow that I built last time. So I misunderstood the situation to some extent. I had created this flow, and like I said, if you haven't watched the last week's video, you may want to go look at it. And all the flow does is when an opportunity is saved, if it is closed won, and then Nishant had mentioned a specific field called BU, and he said if the value in the BU field is not equal to med legal, he wanted the close date set to today. If it is equal to med legal, he did not want it set to today, which was happening by default. He was saying, although like I said, I couldn't get it working for me. And so I just created a flow that said, okay, if it's not equal to med legal, go ahead and set the close date to today. Now that I understand the problem, I will have to revise this flow and see if we can figure it out. Yeah, so slightly embarrassing, but these are unedited, so you get to see kind of the process that happens in the real world. Okay, so I think we can begin. Like I said, I'm gonna have to figure out. Let's go to an opportunity. And let's just double check that it really does work. So the way that it's supposed to. Come on. I'm going to set the close date to the future, and we'll make this not closed yet. And where's that BU field? Here it is. Okay, so not med legal. Let's change this to none. And now we'll set it to close 1. And it went to there. Now, did the flow do that? No, because oh yeah, the flow did do that, right? Yeah. Let's do that one more time. Stay in the future, and we'll set med legal. And then we'll change this to close 1. Yeah, so it still happens. Okay. Yeah, so one of them is happening from our flow, and one of them is happening from standard Salesforce functionality. And Nishant wants, if the custom field BU has the pick list value med legal, don't allow the standard functionality to run, which basically, keep the close date to be whatever it was prior to it being saved. So opposite of what I built. So I think we can do it. I think we can update this flow and figure out a way to do it without any code. Normally, I would probably just say, oh, just use a before trigger, and you could capture the date and then just set it again. I think we could probably do that with a flow. So that's my plan for today. I think we can do it quickly. We'll see. Hopefully, I won't run into too many hurdles. Before we start that, though, a word from our sponsors. This video is brought to you by MamaMerge. MamaMerge is a 100% native document generation solution for Salesforce. Anyone who signs up at our URL, which Chris will put onto the screen, quick2.click/mama with Matt K, will get 10 free licenses of MamaMerge. That's totally free. No limits on the number of documents you can generate. No duration limit either. That's available to you. MamaMerge is 100% native, so it's faster and more secure than other document generation solutions. All right, so let's come back to this flow and figure out how to do something to stop it from updating the close date, right? So that's what we're saying here. If the BU pick list has med legal, don't update the close date. Okay. So one thing that I was thinking is, when we do a flow, there's 2 types of flow. There's the fast one, and there's the not fast, for lack of a better word. And right now, this is a fast flow. So if we click here, we can see here it's a fast field update. And I think we want it to be a fast field update because we're dealing with the record that is being saved. So that makes sense. I'm going to take away this condition because we basically now want this to run every time. So let's do that. And then let's think. I'm going to do a decision, I think. So a decision will allow us to say, is BU med legal? Yes or no, right? And BU is med legal will be the first option. And we'll say, do this if the record... see, we do have this prior values of triggering record. It's available to us. And I think I'm going to be able to use that for something. BU equals med legal. Okay. And then otherwise, this will be BU is not med legal. Okay, so we have 2 conditions here. And just to review, so if BU, don't set the close date to today if it's med legal, right? Okay, so let's copy this. Copy this, cut the element, paste it here. Okay, if it is med legal, I just keep reminding myself, if the custom field BU has the pick list value med legal, the flow should not update the close date. So how do we not update the close date? It's very hard to break standard functionality, but not get an error message on the screen, right? And that's the thing. I could definitely stop this from working, but that's not what he wants. He doesn't want it to totally stop. He wants it to keep going and just somehow prior, somehow just have it work differently. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we should first test, can we get that value? I don't know if we can. I'm gonna just test something out. I'm gonna set the description to the prior value of the close date. I just want to see what happens here. And we're gonna do a save as, save, and then I'll activate it as well. Let's activate it. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of going through my process of seeing what is happening on the Salesforce servers when I hit save. There is actually an order of operations that you can look at in the documentation that you used to have to memorize as part of the Platform Developer 2 certification, but you don't need to memorize it for this video. So if I did this correctly, when I save an opportunity, if the BU is MedLegal, the description is going to get updated with a date, and it's going to be the close date. And I think it's going to be the close date prior to it being changed. So let's come back to my opportunity, and let's just try this one more time. So I'm going to revert. It is MedLegal. We're going to change this to the future. We'll hit save. And let me just look at the description field. Hopefully it's on the screen, and it may not be. I don't see it on the screen.
Is it not at the very bottom there?
It is. You're right. I just didn't see it. You're right. Yeah, there it is. Description is down there. Okay. So I'm going to set this to close one. This is why I think these videos are so much better, Chris, when you're on them. Otherwise, I would have started updating the page layout or the lightning page. I'm going to hit save. My hope is that 731 is going to show up in the description field. Okay. So this now says 710, but if we come down here, it does say 731, July 31. It's interesting that it actually says the word July 31, but I think that's okay. Okay, so far so good. So now what I'm thinking is I might be able to store that in a variable. So I'm going to create a variable here. We'll call this prior close date. And it's going to be a date time. Default, we're not going to do anything. Okay. We'll leave that. And then here, instead of setting the record description, we're going to set the prior close date to that. And now this is where it gets a little tricky. Well, I mean, we could. No. So the changing of the close date to today is happening after this moment. And we know that because when I hit save, we got the prior close date, right? Not the future. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. No, let's do another test actually before we do this prior close date. Let's do description again. So record description, but instead of setting it to the prior close date, let's set it to the current close date and see what happens. So this is kind of telling us behind the scenes what's going on, which is what's the order of operations. Save and activate, and we'll come back. Okay, so I'm going to reset this back to where we were, and save this there, and wiped out this value at the bottom. Okay. And so now here's the question. When I hit close one, save, will the description be 731 or will the description be 710, which is today's date? And it's a rhetorical question, although feel free to post your answers in the comments. Ideally, you post it before you watch the whole video, though. Okay, so this says 710. Drum roll. Here we go. 731. Okay, that's what I thought. So the order of operations is our flow is running, and at some point after this node here, Salesforce is updating the close date. And I suspect
you did the fast flow where it's Lucy before the chocolate machine.
So I suspect it's actually after this entire flow is happening. Yeah, you're right. So we could change this from being a fast flow to not being a fast flow. We could also just do an explicit update and see what happens And so that's something that I was going to try. So let's go ahead and edit this element. Instead of setting the record description, we're going to set this prior close date equal to, I guess it doesn't really matter at this point, but I'm going to still put record prior close date. Now, the only thing is you have to be careful. This flow could run twice if I'm not careful. Yeah, it could run. We could get like an endless loop basically, right? Because we're saying run every time. Return record. Well, but only when. No, it shouldn't, because it should only be when the stage name has been changed to close one. So maybe we're okay. We'll find out, right? And now let's do an explicit assignment here. And we'll say set close date back to prior value. And we're going to say record close date equals prior close date. Okay. Let's see if this works. I'm going to activate it. Okay, so resetting it again. Future date. Let's go ahead and just wipe that out. It shouldn't matter anymore, and hit save. Okay, and now we're going to mark it as closed one. I think it's still going to change the date. I don't think it's going to revert, because I think the order that these things are happening, and not doing it. Actually, I'm almost confident it's going to, but let's see. Yeah, see, it did. Okay, because and I'm not even doing an explicit save here. I'm actually still within the fast, right? We could do an explicit save though. Let's update the record. Update opportunity again, and let's do close date. Okay, and now I can actually get rid of this assignment then. Well, it's kind of hard to see here. I should be able to delete that. Okay. So one more time, what I'm doing here is just explicitly setting the close date to the prior close date. And we'll do a save as and a save. I still think that it's not going to work. But we'll see. So reset again. Future date. Nothing's down there anymore, right? Yeah. Okay. And now mark it as closed one. Yep, still happening. Okay, so the reason it's still happening is because the order of operation is such that all of those things that are happening to, make Salesforce do that date change is happening after this point. And so what we really need is some type of asynchronous process that'll run after that. So we can come back here and see if we can change this to one of these and add an asynchronous path. The only thing is, I don't know if in this asynchronous path, we're going to know the prior close date. I think we do, but I'm not entirely sure. So let's go ahead and see if we can cut that, paste it there. Oh, can I just do it? Will that work? What did I just do? Whoa, look at that. Okay, perfect. Very cool. And we actually don't even need this now anymore, right? Is there a way to... I think there's a way to do it. How do I make it so it doesn't... All right. Someone showed me this recently. And let's see if I can remember how they did it. So there is a way that I can move this to there. I just don't know how to do it. Okay, we're going to try one more time. I'm going to cut the element, and I want to paste the element there. And it's not letting me do it. Oh, what if we put an end here? There we go. Okay, much better. Okay, so let's see if this works. Now, yeah, let's see if this works. Let's just try this out. Oh, got a little thing. Ah, yes, there's the issue. Prior value is not available. Okay, so one solution would be to set a hidden field, to the prior value, and then do that. We could definitely do that. That was a suggestion that I saw. I was hoping to not need to do that. Is there a way? Well, okay, let's do this. Let's do an assignment, and let's just set the description. Let's see let's do the exact same process that we did before. See what's happening at this point in time. Equals, and then we'll say record. Oh, look at that. But I think it's going to give me an error. Let's just. Can I activate it? Will it let me? No. 2 errors. Okay, close date and set description. Yeah, okay, so they're both. Okay. So let's hit edit, and instead of the record prior, let's do record and close date. Okay, let's try that. I don't even know. And then this one here, let's edit, and we'll do record and close date. I don't know. At this point, I'm losing track of what I'm doing, but let's just see what happens. Okay, so one more time, reset. I'm really hoping we can do this without a new field, like a hidden extra field. I don't like those hidden extra fields to solve problems. All right, so, well, that didn't work. It didn't even set the description though, but that's interesting. It didn't set the description because this update didn't set the description. Okay, so there's a couple things we could do. We could probably call one flow from another flow and do something like that. Let's just come back to the flow screen here. What if I were to create a new flow and start from scratch? And this will be a, it wouldn't be a record triggered flow. It would be, and we don't want to schedule trigger flow. I need a flow that will be launched by another flow, passing in just maybe like 2 pieces of information. Something like that could work. So what I'm thinking here is, what if we had one flow, like our current one, that will get the prior value, and then it goes and launches another flow, but somehow asynchronously. Let's try this one. So we would need a variable, and this would be the opportunity ID, and it would be a, it could be a whole record even. And it'd be available for input. And then we'd have another resource that would be the close date. And this would be a date available for input, done. Something like this. And then what we would do is just update the record, I guess. Update opportunity. to do an assignment real quick. Okay, I think something like this would work. If I can. Okay, so opportunity, update, close date. But this is not running asynchronously, so that's not right. I wonder if this is the wrong type of flow then. Let me do real quick. Like that. Ooh, this is trickier than I thought it was going to be. Let's come back to.
Is there a way to make the flow trigger if the BU is med legal and the close date is today and the updated date, last modified date is today? That way we don't accidentally catch correctly future dated ones when they time in, but we do catch any that look like they suffered from that auto update.
Right. I mean, yeah, we could do that. The problem is I don't think that's going to actually. First of all, I don't think that's a problem that we're having right now. But we wouldn't be able to run. We wouldn't be able to capture the close date at that moment because it's already changed.
Right.
So what I'm really looking for is somehow this here. But yes, okay. So we could say something like this equals all conditions stage equals closed one. We could just say here BU equals med legal, right? Okay, and then what I really want to do is somehow, can we just do this, a subflow, this one here, run or update close date flow, okay, and so I feel like there should be a way to do this. Okay, and now we don't need any of this stuff here. I'm gonna actually just do something risky and start deleting. Okay. The thing is, I think if we were to look at those order of operations, even though this says, well, this says run immediately, I think they do run immediately. I don't think it's going to cost something else to run, but we'll see. Okay, just have these issues. Has no active version. Oh, did I not activate it? Okay, yeah. There we go. Okay, activate this. Okay, let's test it again. I think there's got to be a way to do this. Okay, so save this. Mark it as closed one. So now we're testing the order of operations of one flow calling another flow. Look at that. Did I do it? Let's refresh just to make sure. Okay, let's just check this real quick. Set this to none. Okay, so this should be standard functionality now. I'm setting this to close one, close dates in the future. I hit save. It changed. Boy, I really wish I was more confident when I did it, because now we're gonna be like, well, he didn't know what he was doing. It was just a coincidence that he solved this problem, because I did not realize I had it solved. Okay, so we're gonna mark this as closed one, and I'm confidently declaring that one flow calling another flow will not update this close date to be today, even though the stage is closed one. Ooh, it worked. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So here's what it took. It took the first flow, which we had already. Let's see if I can find it right here. Basically doing nothing, right? All this flow is saying is run let's make, it does run, and it only runs when the stage name is closed one and the BU is med legal. And then the only thing this flow does is launch another flow. And that flow, which I have up still, receives the record that that was initially launched in the first flow, as well as the prior close date. And then it explicitly updates that opportunity. And so what's happening is we're kind of playing this game where we're sneaking in the update just after Salesforce has updated the close date to today's date. In fact, now I'm curious if we were to look at field history, which is not on the page. Let's go ahead and add it to the page. Is it showing it toggling back and forth, or because it's all happening within possibly one transaction, is it not? So let's see if we can figure that one out. We'll put related to single, and we'll put field history or stage history. I think should be fine.
I think it's also interesting that it seems that the description gets updated with today's date. Like the original flow we created runs one extra time and grabs what was now the new prior close date.
Right. Okay, so this is interesting. If you look here, it does look like they count as two updates. So we're going to do this one more time just to kind of check the... Okay, so it's the future, it's med legal. Okay, so this is the latest, right? It's saying at 11:44, I updated the stage to needs analysis. The date is in the future. And now I'm going to change this to closed one. And I think what we're going to see is two updates after 11:44. I'm trying to get this to be 11:45 right now. And so I'm stalling while talking, but I think I had just done it when 11:44 in 0 seconds or give or take. So it's like, how long can I stall for? But that's my theory, is that when I hit save, we're actually going to see two updates in the same moment, within the same minute at least. One will be Salesforce default functionality updating the close date to today's date. The other will be custom flow updating the close date to the prior close date. Okay, ready? Yeah. So there was my 11:44. Here's my 11:45 standard, my save. Wait a minute. Oh, look at that. That's even weirder. I think they're just showing, because they happen at the same time, I think it's not showing it in the right order, but I'm pretty sure this is the default functionality, setting it to 7:10 because I did not do that. And then here's my flow setting it back to 7:31.
Okay.
And just to make sure, I just want to quadruple check this. What I'm going to do is refresh this page, but I'm going to make sure that actually, I guess I could just hit this pencil. Yeah. Okay. That should be the latest. Okay. So that's it. It does work. Great solution. It does not require creating any additional hidden fields. It's two flows. I don't like creating flows for no reason. But it's not bad, right? Especially since this one is very easy to follow. We have just one thing in here. We have one thing in here. We probably could, oh, you know what I think was also very important? I think it's important that this is not a fast field update, but it's this one here. We don't need the asynchronous. I don't think that matters. Although I guess we could test that out just to make sure. But yeah, I think the key is timing it so it runs within that order of operations at the right moment. And I think it needs to be this here in actions and related records for the first flow. And then the second flow, it doesn't really matter. Let's just double check this last one here. And then I've got some screenshots over to you, Chris. Okay, so we're gonna hit save. And then closed one. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Yeah, so this is it. One flow that does the update. It receives those variables, the opportunity and the prior close date. And the other is just calling it and passing it in. Pretty simple. It just took me a while to get there. Two weeks. or about a week. It's actually a week. So,
yeah, it's not even a week. 6 days.
Right, yes. And I wasn't working on it the whole time.
Yeah.
There was a holiday.
And I think even if this wasn't a problem that folks were facing personally, this is a good example of how to invoke a flow from another flow.
Yeah.
I'm
that
seeing
too.
a icon there in that flow that I had never seen before, the 3 little wavy lines.
Oh yeah. It's a nice one.
Yeah.
Subflow. Yeah.
So learning experience all around.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely is doable. I think it's it could be done with code, but there's no need to do it with code when the amount of effort to do it with the flow is so low once you know how to do it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I will go ahead and update that question so that our asker gets the updates that they need.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you, Matt, for not only being willing to do this, but being willing to catch errors in the past and come rectify them instead of just saying, no, moving on.
Right.
If they haven't commented and said it didn't work, then we'll keep going. I think I have definitely watched how-to videos where it doesn't work. And I'm like, how can they just leave it like that? This doesn't work. So thank you again. I do want to thank our sponsor one more time, Mambo Merge, on this video. And as Matt said, if you head to quick2.click/Mambo with Matt K, you get 10 free licenses of Mambo Merge to try out in your org. And as always, if you have questions of your own that you would like to see answered here on the program, head to quick2.click/Q&A. And there's a little form there where you can submit your questions, and then we'll give you a heads up when we're going to answer them live. As always, please do like and subscribe to these videos. And tune in again next week when we tackle yet another question. Maybe it'll be yours.
Hopefully it'll be a new one and not this one again.
Yeah. Everything looked like it checked out this time. So I'm going to call this one closed. But I'll keep my eyes peeled on the updates to see if anything changes about that.
Great.
Cool. Thank you for doing this, Matt.
Yeah, thank you.